Storytime at the Roo Bus, a weekly podcast about the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Charla.
I think I'm Daniel.
You think so?
No, I'm pretty sure. I know I'm Daniel.
You think? Okay.
But I'm not sure if you're Charlotte.
I think I'm Charlotte.
Or if you're a clone.
Could be.
Okay. Nah. Well, in either case, you're Charlotte, and I'm glad you're here. How have you been doing?
I'm great.
You had a great trip with Brooklyn to the beach this past weekend, right?
Yes.
How'd that go?
I mean, we survived.
You guys roughed it. You didn't even get a hotel. You just slept in the back of a car.
Okay, so I need to apologize
Really? Why?
to anyone who may have saw the Instagram live that we did.
Oh, I missed it. I was at a drag show for Pride Month when you were doing that. Can you tell me what happened?
Okay, we did a couple of Instagram lives on the beach. So there was a beautiful lightning show, and someone was like, you should live stream this.
Was that someone you or Brooklyn?
No, it's our friend Lincoln. We were talking to him. and
Oh,
he said
Lincoln,
something
okay.
About you should live stream this or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. And that's how I got the idea to live stream it. And
How'd it go?
I fell in a hole.
In the sand on the beach.
Yeah, and we were laughing, cutting off, and it was great. It was after some tequila shots.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't expect any less. I had a good time with you guys when we went to the
That
beach
was,
all together. Yeah.
Barb and Star go to Costa Del Mar.
Oh, by the way, if you're listening to this and have not seen that movie, if you're a Bonnaroovian, it is probably on your wavelength. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
Wait, time out.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
You thought it was okay? I thought it was
a little-
hilarious.
it was a little silly.
Yeah, it was supposed to be silly. It was like the same kind of weird comedy as those old Austin Powers movies.
Yeah, those are a little silly as well, especially that part where he is in a hallway and he tries to back up.
You ever seen somebody in a golf cart at Bonnaroo and they're in a tight spot and they do that? That's always instantly where my mind goes.
No, I've seen you in a bus trying to back up.
I
and
have
that's always
had to do
where
that.
my mind goes.
Oh, so I'll tell you a quick one. Whenever we have the bus up in Manchester and it's not Bonnaroo, I'll take it up to that spot kind of in the middle of Bushy Branch Road where there's usually a gate closed and you can see the wet stage. Other people who have been there in the off season, you probably know exactly where I'm talking about. When Bonnaroo is going on, that's usually where you come out to go to Shakedown Street to go buy all that weird stuff. Anyways, I'll park it up in there, and yes, that is when I have to do like about 5 3-point turns to get it back on Bushy Branch
You
Road.
literally have to Austin Powers it out of there.
Yeah, we brought it over there last June, almost exactly a year ago after we did our first mini-roo. We rode it up there to take our traditional Cracker Barrel brunch, even though there wasn't a Bonnaroo going on. And we figured since we were there, we would go park it and make a funny picture and video and everything. And somebody came up behind us. I think they were just expecting us to like do something stupid, maybe just like barge through the gate or whatever. And I had to sweet talk this guy like, no, we were just stopping by. We were sad that it wasn't going on. We wanted to take a picture. He saw to it that we left, but he was friendly about it.
So, was it Bonnaroo, or wouldn't Bonnaroo be this weekend in the normal world?
Yes, it would have been this past weekend. We're recording this on the 14th of June. So, yeah, it would have been just a few days ago.
So, I haven't seen anyone mention this, and I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
I looked up the weather over the weekend. On Saturday, me and Brooklyn looked up the weather. It was storming in Manchester.
I thought about that. Yeah. So down here, you were down at the beach, but I was here at our house in North Alabama, just about an hour and a half south of the farm. And yeah, that one day, it was Friday or Saturday. It was storming fairly good all day. It would have not made for a good experience at the farm.
No, it would have been a terrible Bonnaroo. It was storming in Manchester. We were looking up like humidity in different places, and she just randomly looked at Manchester, and it was like 100% humidity. Storms, thunderstorms.
Yeah, that would have been pretty rough. You know, the only time in the past 6 or 7 years or so that it really has rained at Bonnaroo was, 2 years ago? When it rained pretty good on Sunday morning. Yeah. And it wasn't that bad of a problem. It was a little muddy up until about 1 or 2 o'clock, but the sun came back out and dried it out. I've heard the horror stories about one of the old Bonnaroos in the olden days where it rained pretty much the whole time and the whole place turned into a mud pit. It might have done that this past weekend, that 1 or 2 days. It would not have been a fun experience, no.
No, it would have been terrible.
Yeah, so maybe we did luck out.
Yeah.
I don't pretend to be a meteorologist, but I do know the weather that weekend pretty well because it's typically my birthday, you know? And I can't remember it really ever coming a big storm around my birthday. Like by that time in the tail end of the summer, the weather pattern holds pretty well and it's just kind of clear and hot.
Let's just don't jinx it, please.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Just don't talk about that.
But I will just say that I am optimistic. I do know, as we have talked about, it will probably get very hot. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the episode. But hey, you want to talk about some other Bonnaroo stuff that is starting to come up? Because we're under 3 months to go now. It's time to really start thinking about it. So I got in touch with one of our good buddies. His name is Ben. I'll give him a shout out because he's a wonderful dude. And congratulations to him. He just had his wedding and his honeymoon and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. Him and his new wife are awesome people. I checked in with him and I was like, hey, is there anything that Bonnaroovians should be knowing about right now? This is what is being passed on. So do you remember about a month or two ago, we all got an email from Bonnaroo saying like, hey, pick your arrival day. And you can arrive as soon as Tuesday this time if you want to, right?
Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. Is that what you're thinking about? Anyways, that is not set in stone. Plans change. I think they realize that plans can change. So if you, for whatever reason, decide that you need to change your arrival day, you can contact Front Gate Tickets and make that happen. There's a lot of different reasons that could happen. Maybe you can't get that extra day off. Maybe something else is going on that week and you already know about it. You want to come Wednesday instead of Tuesday or vice versa. You can call up or contact Front Gate Tickets and make that happen.
So basically, if I picked Tuesday, but now I'm like, oh, I got to work Tuesday, yeah. I can call them and change it.
Yes, you can totally do that. That's totally cool.
Cool.
But you need to be doing that sooner rather than later. I think that they are putting together a really good plan that is going to make entry super smooth this time. You know, knock on wood. We'll see how it really goes, but I'm optimistic about it. They need us to tell them that. Also, what you need to be doing is plan out kind of like your travel and entry plan, right? So figure out who's going to be driving, make sure that everybody has the same entry day for your car or whatever if you're coming in a group. Just be thinking about that now. I mean, we're under 3 months to go, so be thinking about what your plan is for that. What day you're going to come in, who's going to be driving, who's in your crew, who's all in your carpool or armada of different cars if there's 2 or 3 of them, you know.
Yeah, so you want to make sure if you're arriving in different cars, if you and your buddies are arriving in different cars, you all have the same entry days.
Yeah, so under 3 months to be thinking about that. You don't have to have it all figured out right now, but I would be starting to figure it out here the next month or so. So everybody in your group has a plan in mind and a plan agreed on. All right, another thing that I wanted to cover real quick since the time is coming. A lot of people are looking for ways to get tickets since it's a sellout. It's been a sellout for what, a month, 2 now? Time has no meaning anymore. I'm losing track.
It's sold out on 4/20. That's how you
remember. Oh, yeah. How could I forget? Okay, anyways. So I know there's a lot of people that are still looking for tickets, or maybe you have a friend that's looking for tickets. I cannot stress this enough. Do not buy tickets from just some random person on Facebook or whatever.
I'm going to be straight with you.
Please.
I work in this industry.
Oh, here we go.
If you see someone on Facebook that says, I am selling 2 tickets, DM me for info. That is a scam. Do not DM them for information. Do not. Just don't. No, it's not worth it. That's how you lose your money. Probably.
I'm sure there's some kind-hearted people that are just genuinely trying to get rid of tickets. But
no,
if you don't know them, you don't know that. Right?
No, they could seem as nice as could be, and they'll probably tell you some story about how they have lost their home in a fire and they can't feed their family and their cat needs surgery. Oh, and they just can't go anymore. And they usually post something like, something came up, just need to get rid of these tickets. No, those are scams. Please do not lose your money on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, there have been a lot of cases in which prospective Bonnaroovians have lost money and weren't able to go because they fell victim to a scam like that. So please be very careful.
That actually became a very popular Facebook scam a few years ago. I actually used to run Facebook events and they would hit up little events up to large scale events like Bonnaroo. Yes.
Are these like Russian scammers or something?
It's just scam bots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there is still a good way to get those tickets or sell those tickets. So if you go to the Bonnaroo website, there is a link to the official exchange where you can get those tickets, or if you can't go anymore, we're sad that we can't see you, but that's a way that you can get probably all of your money back in most cases. Now, where was that? You were just looking that up.
Okay, if you actually just go to the Bonnaroo website, just go into there like you're going to buy regular tickets, just bonnaroo.com/tickets.
Yeah.
Just click on the tickets. There's a way to buy resale tickets right there, and it takes you to the resale ticket page. Again, that's bonnaroo.com/tickets, and you go in just like you would buy regular tickets, and there'll be a link on there that says resale, and you just click on that, and that's going to take you to the official ticket exchange, the official ticket resale page.
I'm looking at it right now, and there's 4 different tabs. There's one for GA, GA Plus, VIP, and car camping. And right now, for the general admission, it looks like the cheapest ones are going for about $445, which is a little bit more expensive than face value, but not to a ridiculous level, I suppose.
Right.
And they do fluctuate. I had been looking at this every now and then, and I have seen the tickets go up and down, kind of like when you look at like flights from an airline almost,
Exactly.
I've been looking at those too. So if you get on there and you're a little scared by a price that's a little bit more expensive, just kind of keep an eye on it for a few days. It might go up, it might go down. It is an open market. That's capitalism at work, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. So just if you haven't got your tickets, you want to go, keep an eye on that. You still stand a chance. You might have to pay a few bucks more than you normally would, but that's just how these things work.
Hey, so while I was at the beach, you said something about the new King Gizzard album?
Oh my gosh, yes. So it came out a week or two ago, and I finally listened to the whole thing while I was driving around this past weekend. It is so good. Like, it's fire. I was really enjoying it because it seems as if they purposefully tried to go just a hair more mainstream. Like, their stuff is honestly a little inaccessible for people that is just getting into that kind of music. This is almost radio friendly.
That's cool.
I don't know. Did you actually listen to any of it? Be honest.
I have not listened to it yet. No.
Okay, I want you to listen to it. The first 3 songs on their new album called Butterfly 3000, and who knows why it's called that. I listened to it and I'm like, okay, this sounds like King Gizzard, but this sounds like the kind of King Gizzard that you can play for your mom and dad and be okay with it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
I'm so excited to see them, and it does look, as of right now, that they are coming. They had to change the majority of their tour to next year in 22.
Okay, I'm super confused about that. Can you explain that to me? Because I keep saying, are they coming or are they not? And I'm like, I don't.
So let's back up. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, one of the most anticipated bands for, like rock enthusiasts this year. They had put out a thing on social media saying that they were going to have to delay their tour to next year, 22, because of some visa issues, some lingering pandemic, like post-pandemic issues or something like that. But on their website, their official website, they still have Bonnaroo and a couple of other festivals listed as if they're still happening.
Okay.
And of course, Reddit has discussed this thoroughly. And a lot of people are saying like, well, a one-off like that isn't like a tour. You can still make that happen.
Right.
They've kept it on their website. There has been no mention from Bonnaroo or King Gizzard, their management or whatever, that they're not coming. Like not coming to Bonnaroo.
They're on the lineup.
They're still in the lineup.
Yeah.
Changes like this have happened in the past. And in those times, if I recall correctly, it seems as if Bonnaroo would acknowledge it.
Right.
There was a similar situation, or maybe not so similar, but a couple of years ago, what was that hip-hop group? Brockhampton. This was maybe 3 years ago. Brockhampton had to drop out, and I don't even remember why right now, to be honest. And there was, if I recall correctly, some communication from Bonnaroo saying that they would no longer appear, either in the form of like a DM that they knew would get reposted on Reddit and InfoRoo and stuff like that. There has been nothing like that from Bonnaroo. In fact, people have asked Bonnaroo, and whoever is taking charge of the account now has said, yes, King Gizzard will be playing on such and such day, Saturday. We're not hearing that. So for right now, unless anything changes further, it does look like King Gizzard is playing. That's not set in stone. Obviously, it is a little tricky for an international artist that doesn't have the resources of a Tame Impala. So it could change. But if you ask me today, yes, I think King Gizzard is going to be at Bonnaroo. And I can't wait because I love this new album. And they will never hear this, but I really need to hear Head on Pill live. I love that crazy song. But we'll see.
Okay, it's time to thank our Patreons.
Yeah, we've got Greg Bosco,
Eric Abel,
Kristen Straub,
Natalie Gaither,
Beyond the Hypnotic, Jace,
Evan Brown,
Jay Sanders,
Chloe Hannon,
and Sean McCarthy. I think that's everyone. It is. So if you want to be a Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/Roobus. 80% of everything that's taken in through the Patreon will go to the Bonnaroo Works Fund, kind of the quasi-official charity arm of Bonnaroo. They do some amazing things, and we love them to death. There's 3 tiers. The first one gets you a shout-out like you heard just now, and there's 2 other ones where you can do some fun stuff, like we did a Patreon-only Zoom call just an hour or 2 ago.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we got to talk to Chloe, not like we don't ever talk to her. And we also talked to Evan, who I haven't gotten to speak with much. Apparently, he can see the Empire State Building from his window.
How cool is
that? That is amazing. And I think we might get to see him in person here in a few weeks, too. Yeah. So, patreon.com/Roobus. We appreciate your support. 80% goes to the Bonnaroo Works Fund. The remaining of it just helps chip in for the bandwidth for this podcast. Because I got to thank you guys. We're getting a ton of listeners nowadays, and I am very overwhelmed and appreciative.
Yeah. I'm just, oh my gosh.
Our numbers have gone through the roof as of late, and I can't thank you guys enough for listening. It's amazing. All right. I think that we might get a good number of listeners for this one because I am very excited about our guest that we have on. So, long story short, our buddy Kevin with Camp Red Roo has been friends with these guys for a number of years. And about a week or 2 ago, he messaged me, and he's like, bro, I got you a present. You said you were looking for some fun people to talk to. I got you somebody. And at first I thought it was going to be like, oh, Mitchell's got something fun to tell me or whatever. He's like, no, he has hooked me up with the guitarist from Andy Frasco and the U.N. This is amazing because technically they are on the second line of the poster this year, right under the Grand Ole Opry. I encourage everyone to check these guys out. They do some really fun stuff. So they're from L.A. They do kind of like blues rock, but in a very improvisational and fun way.
Their music is so fun.
Yes.
Like, that's the best way to describe it. Truly.
I talked a little bit about this with Shawn Eckels, who we're talking to in just a moment. He's their guitar player. There are sometimes these bands that are just all in on Bonnaroo. Mm-hmm. So, of course, Repeat is one of the great examples because they played for us, and they did a lot of other stuff out in the campgrounds and everything. But you also get artists like Jim James from My Morning Jacket, who's all in. He's down to do a super jam or whatever you ask him to do. Chance the Rapper, he's out there on his little pocket bike out in the campgrounds trolling everybody. He played volleyball with them one year out there at the Bacardi Beach or whatever. These guys with Andy Frasco and the U.N., they're going to be that in a great order of magnitude. If you go look at any YouTube video of them playing a festival set, they do some crazy stuff. They're not really going to be on stage the whole time. They're going to be out in the crowd with us. And yes, we're going to be able to do that post-pandemic. So a couple of days ago, I talked with Shawn from the band, and let's jump into it. Hey everybody, I'm hanging out with my new buddy Shawn. He is with Andy Frasco and the U.N. What's going on, dude?
What's happening, man?
What are you up to today?
I'm in Denver, Colorado. Andy Frasco and the U.N. is getting ready to get back on the road finally, so we're stoked, man.
I'm stoked for you. You guys are starting out in Texas for your first show next week, is that right?
Yeah, Wichita Falls, and then we're going to Oklahoma City, which we've sold out the Tower Theater. Man, we've never played Oklahoma City, so that's like it's wild stuff going on.
You're going to have to pay tribute to Wayne and the Flaming Lips if you're in that neck of the woods.
Hell yeah, I love that band.
Did you see them play those bubble shows during the pandemic, where it wasn't just Wayne and them in bubbles, it was everybody in the crowd in bubbles?
Brilliant. I thought it was so good. I mean, he'd always done the bubble. I mean, the first time I saw him do that, I was like, dude, who doesn't want to jump in that giant hamster ball and crawl all over the crowd? But,
I think it started as a meme, but he must have seen the meme and was like, you know what? That's actually a fantastic idea.
We're going to need more bubbles. Yeah. Yeah, he's great, man. He's an icon, and he just builds all of it himself, man. My favorite thing about him is when you see them play, like at especially a festival or anywhere, he's helping the crew set up the band on the set change the whole time. I love that.
I saw the same thing, yeah. So, yeah, starting out in Texas for you guys. So, I'm so excited for you guys and many other bands to be back out on the road. I know you are too. how is everything looking right now? Is it looking pretty much the same as it would have in the before times before the pandemic, or are
The
things?
before times. Yeah. Well, basically, we had the whole 2020 booked, including Bonnaroo, Peach Fest, Jazz Fest in New Orleans, like all sorts of things. And for us, they were able to just kind of move it to 2021. So
Okay, that's good.
most of our dates are just kind of rescheduled dates from last year, and then more. And I mean, it's put us in a good in a strange way. The pandemic has put us in a pretty cool position. Just Frasco has been so relevant on the dance.
I'm not
stream.
sure I understand.
Damn it. Sorry.
That's okay. Siri's always listening.
Siri's listening to me. Okay, let me get that.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh my God, it's a tragedy.
No, you're good, dude.
There we go. I didn't turn my volume up. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, the momentum's nice for us right now. Frasco's been so busy over the pandemic. We were doing his shit show live streams, and I was doing live streams, and like we were busy though all of last year. Not playing. We played a couple socially distant tours in the fall, but yeah, we're so ready to get back to business. And since we've had all that time to kind of sit there, and everybody's wanted live music so bad without being able to go see any or experience it, that I think that all shows and including our tours are going to be really well received and a lot of energy going on.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Do things look any different? Like, do you still have to take any like safety precautions? Are you still going to be able to hang out with everybody? I know you guys like tend to jump out into the crowd to do that, or
I mean,
are you?
Things are seeming pretty open. I mean, I know the whole band is vaccinated, and a lot of people are. I mean, that helps a lot of things. But we played New Orleans last Saturday for Hogs for the Cause, and there's our boy Andy Frasco right in the middle of the mud. He jumped out there, and it was pretty glorious to see him back in the crowd.
Mm-hmm. You guys are playing a handful of other festivals, like you just talked about. They're just rescheduled. Have you heard anything from the festivals themselves about how things might look a little different, or is it just we're pretty much back to normal?
We're waiting to see too. I mean, as time progresses, I mean, in like last month or even the month before, as people started getting vaccinated, it was we were still doing kind of the attempts at socially distant shows. Some places we just did a run in April, but then like Birmingham it was game on. You know what I mean?
Well,
like that, and
even around here, I suppose, yeah.
It was kind of per venue, but we're on the stage. We have to, it's interesting to get used to going back out into the world after all that,
Yeah, but, I was talking with my wife about it, and it's kind of like when you get into the pool and the water's a little cool, you just have to like take your time and get used to it. But then once you're like, all right, I'm good.
And then you can jump in. Yeah. I think everybody's kind of got that same mentality of easing into it, So it'll be interesting to see, and I'm glad to get back to it, and I hope everything's good and safe, and should be fun, man.
I think people are okay with the idea of just like going fully back into it like we did in those before times. For a while, we had venues close to here, like the Caverns, kind of close to Bonnaroo. They couldn't pay for a while because they were afraid that might be a little dangerous. So they made a new venue on top that was kind of the amphitheater, and they used the pods. We saw St. Paul and the Broken Bones over there.
Sweet.
And it's kind of like people were using the pods, but not really, because most people have gotten their shots and were like, yeah, we can hang out. It's okay.
Right. Yeah. And
I'm at the point where we can do that now.
Yeah, I think we're there, and then as we move on, and we'll find out, if there's like some other reason to back off a bit, but hopefully we're back in this, man.
Well, I'm excited for you guys to come because it seems like you're one of those kind of bands that like get it. Like you don't just like come up on stage for your hour and do your set. Like you guys are all out in the crowd and everything.
It's got to be engaging. There's no like. I can't stand bands that phone it in or like.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to play rock and roll, right? You get to. It's a pleasure,
I'm not doing
so go out there and fuck it up, give it everything you got. I mean, I think everybody in our band, that's our intention. It's just like it doesn't matter what's happening. It's like when we get on stage, it's like go all 250%,
Mm-hmm. So I know for like us at Bonnaroo, some good examples in the past of people that have done like that have been like Jim James from My Morning Jacket. He's pretty much up for anything. And our buddies Repeat from Nashville, they played the bus for us and have done some other things. Like they get a camping experience like Bonnaroo, and they're up for like anything like that. When you guys are playing like Bonnaroo or another kind of camping festival, what kind of things do you do to like really get yourselves into trouble and really get deep into the festival?
We party with everybody.
I know exactly where to come, man. Come hang with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like, I mean, I think we all are pretty friendly people, and it's fun to get out, especially with other bands and everything. But yeah, there's been a lot of late night sets, like surprise sets, like Mountain Jam would book us like late night sets because they know that these guys will do the party thing at 2 a.m, or whatever, and that could be great.
Well, you're coming to the right place for that.
What's that?
I said you're coming to the right place for that.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I've never been to Bonnaroo.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. So maybe I can give you a couple of pointers. Okay, so you guys got your show on Thursday night. Are you going to be able to stick around? I know you got a show like 2 nights after that.
Right now, it tells me that we're there for Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Well,
but I don't know what that means. You know what I mean?
That means that you're going to be able to stay up late with us on Thursday night after your set. So, all right. So I'm going to give you the quick summary. So Thursday is a lot of guys like you that are just about ready to blow up, right? There's no like huge headliner set on Thursday. So a lot of the after party is in the campgrounds.
Nice.
But it's acres and acres and acres, dude. Like one side of the campground to the other is like a 2-mile walk.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, where you need to come hang is out with us at the Bonnaroo Bus, of course. But then there's like a group camp area where a lot of the big like after parties happen. So some of our friends are in a group called Camp Red-A-Roo. Our mutual friend Kevin got us in touch for this. He's one of the guys that puts that together. Go take a walk around there, and you will definitely run into a party.
Awesome.
But yeah, check that out. But yeah, I'm excited.
We're coming to find the bus, maybe.
Oh, we will not be hard to miss. Don't worry about that.
Hell yeah.
But I'm excited to see you guys basically on the second line of the poster. I feel like you're about ready to blow up some acts that we've had on Thursday in the past. Like, I'll give you some examples. Like in the past, and many moons ago, on Thursdays were bands like Alabama Shakes or Vampire Weekend. So yeah, so I'm just saying that could be Andy Frasco and the U.N. too. I know you guys are going to some crazy stuff that we wouldn't normally see from other bands. Have you guys talked about what you might try kind of out of the box to make an impression this coming Thursday?
When we get closer, we're about to hit the road for a while. So by the time we get to you guys, we have a whole new album of music we're working on right now, and all sorts of crazy shit. So by the time we get to August, man, we'll have a whole crazy thing worked out. We're definitely saving up the goodies for Bonnaroo. So we're coming full swing, man. I mean, yeah, like Bonnaroo is just blows my mind. I mean, that started I had my first band Speakeasy in '99. When did the first Bonnaroo happen? Like 2002?
Yeah, so this is the 20th anniversary. I don't know how that counts, but like it was 2002. Yeah, so sometimes
no shit.
It's 19 by 20 years. We skipped one. I don't know. They say it's the 20th anniversary, so I'll run with it.
That's wild, man. Yeah, so I've never been, and then this year coming out of the pandemic, we got to headline Red Rocks 2 weeks ago, and
that's so awesome, dude.
It's crazy. It's just there's a crazy feeling like it's like I love this band can translate to bigger stages, and I'm fucking ready, dude. I can't wait to play at Bonnaroo.
Did that feel a little intimidating at all to play at Red Rocks? I mean, there have been some legendary shows. Like U2 played one of their most famous shows. Yeah,
the Beatles played there. Everybody's played there. Yeah. It's intimidating in a way where I felt like it was a responsibility to kick ass. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best response to that. Yes.
I was like, dude, if I'm here, I better fucking bring it. It's like we better bring it, and it was surreal. It was like a dream, honestly. And the band played really well. We rehearsed that set that week. The band never really gets a chance to rehearse for one show. We're just always on the road. So we kind of took special care and rehearsed the shit out of that set and played like 3 new songs. And it was beyond special, man. Mm-hmm. But it definitely solidified like, all right, I've been playing guitar and touring since I was 19. I'm 42 now. And like playing Red Rocks is like, okay, I think I'm doing the right thing.
I've always heard that venue is like incredible for the acoustics from the fan side.
It sounds so good. It sounds so good on stage. I was surprised.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. How did it sound on your end?
Amazing, because I've seen several shows there. I've seen so many shows there. I've seen lots of different kinds of music, and I've been close, and I've been up top, and it just sounds amazing to the audience. But on stage, it sounds fucking great, man. It's seriously the greatest venue there is.
So how was the crowd there? Were they pretty pumped up? And
so pumped. It was. We had friends and family from all over that flew in, and man, it was an amazing show. It was pinnacle for the band in the 11, 12 years I've kind of been involved. It was the highlight so far. You know,
I'm gonna prep you for something else when it comes to like a good crowd. So everybody knows Weird Al Yankovic, right? Like journeyman, he's been doing this for 40 years or whatever. Like he's out there. Everybody loves his stuff. He came to see us at Bonnaroo in 2013. Dude has played all over the world. He has gone on record in some interviews to say that the show that he played at Bonnaroo was the best crowd that he ever played to.
Nice.
He played the same type of stage that you guys are going to play on a tent. So when you say tent, it's not like, oh yeah, a tent that you can't.
Well, I've seen the pictures. They're large.
You're going to have a crowd that is ready to bring it, and the way that you guys interact with the crowd, you're going to blow the top off the place, especially considering that we haven't been there in over 2 years now.
Yeah, man. There's a hype, like a hype wave that's about to crest, man. It's nice. Bonnaroo. I think it being later in the summer, pushed back as everything gets more open and everything. I think this thing's going to be crazy, dude.
It is, dude. Oh, I got a question for you about that. I would love an artist perspective on this.
Okay.
So there has been a bit of a debate at big festivals about totems. So, you know, the big, like, crazy memes and signs that you see on top of the pole with lights on it.
Oh, yeah.
I would venture a guess, this is just an estimate on my part, that 75% of our crowd loves them and 25% are like, get rid of those damn things. As an artist, how do you feel about that? Do you like seeing the funny things, or do you?
Fuck yeah, they're awesome. But I mean, I could see this from the fan point of view. If you're maybe not a tall person and somebody's got a rage stick right in front of you and you can't see anything, that could suck. But I mean, from our perspective, that's some funny stuff, man. I can't remember all the ones I've seen, but you've seen them. They're hilarious. So.
I have one that I take around with me sometimes. It's a picture of my old cat's face on a pole, and he's wearing like stunner glasses like Kanye used to wear. We went to go see one of my favorite bands when I was a teenager, Third Eye Blind, a couple of years ago. And their front man, Stephen Jenkins, like stopped and looked at that and gave me like a funny look, like, what the hell is that? I love it when artists get a kick out of that. I got a call out from the girl that's the front man or front woman for churches a couple of years ago. She thought it was the funniest thing. So yeah, that is part of my goal. I want to give you guys a laugh when you're on stage.
Well, yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I'm all about any kind of interaction like that, man. It's back to the bands that call it in. It's like, I just don't understand how they cannot take advantage of the energy coming back to them and the interaction that can be there, you know? It's like just even smiling at people is the best thing in the world, man.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad that you're in it. That leads to another question I had for you. You know, okay, so I think if you guys are sticking around on Friday night, you're going to be able to see the Foo Fighters with us, hopefully.
Fuck yeah, I can't wait. I would love to. I saw them, I don't know, it must have been 10 years ago. I'm all about that. That'd be great.
I saw their show 3 years ago. And like Dave and them don't just throw a show; they throw a party. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude, they rock and they do long. I think they did like 3 hour sets when that Wasting Light album came out. They're awesome.
We're hoping for that. But you know, one reason that I think a lot of us Bonnaroobians are looking forward to that is Dave is known to like just come out in the crowd and come see other shows with fans. So like he doesn't care; he'll just come have a beer and hang out with you.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Are you guys planning on doing any of that too? Like, are there any bands on Thursday or Friday that you would like to see at Bonnaroo?
I haven't even looked at the whole schedule, but man, here's the deal about touring, you don't get to see bands. You know, it's like I'm always, I live in Colorado, I live in Denver, and all these venues are so awesome. I mean, like the Mission Ballroom and Red Rocks and everything. And the only way I get to see bands is if we're playing the same festival with them. So I hope we get lots of time at Bonnaroo to walk around and see bands, and see new bands we're familiar with, anything, you know.
If you've got Friday night free, if you're sticking around, 2 or 3 that I would recommend that you come see with this are Run the Jewels. I love them. It's kind of like
seen them. I saw them at summer camp a few years ago, and I'd love to see them again. I know more about them now. They're fucking awesome.
Go see Glass Animals. They have become a big favorite of Bonnaroo.
I've had a lot of people tell me about them, and I've seen some live footage. They have a lot of energy, man.
Yeah. Well, if you've seen Run the Jewels, if you're looking for one on Friday that you're going to have time for, I definitely recommend coming to see Glass Animals with the rest of the crowd. You're going to see how much the Bonnaroo crowd loves them.
Yeah, I'm all about it. That's Friday night?
Friday night, yeah.
I hope we get to hang, man.
I know.
It's weird, like in the middle of the tour, because it might be like you could hang for the afternoon. They're like, all right, well, now we have to drive 17 hours to somewhere. You know what I mean?
Another one that's going to be that afternoon that is going to be worth checking out is Nelly. Remember this guy, the rapper from like the early.
It's getting hot in here.
Yes, that guy. He's playing Thursday, or not Thursday, but Friday afternoon.
Dude, I was just watching The Longest Yard. I was watching The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, and Nelly's in it.
Dude. That's gonna be some homework before we go back to Bonnaroo now, I
There
guess.
you go, man.
All right. So last question for you. So like we designed this podcast to be like the same thing that people would overhear if they were hanging out with us next to the bus. And one thing that we always ask is like, well, what have you been listening to lately? So that's what I'm going to ask you too. Like, what bands have you been into lately?
I listen to everything, man. But lately, let's see. Let me go on my Spotify. TV on the radio. I fucking love TV on the radio.
Yes.
I love TV. I listen to them. I keep coming back to them so much. Lots of Queens of the Stone Age lately. I come from like metal, so like sometimes I'll stick around on some heavier stuff for a while. But like then I also love Ray LaMontagne, and I love I love all sorts of stuff, man.
Oh, dude, have you some stuff from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard that's kind of like on the more.
I love that band. I wish they were playing Friday night so I could see them.
I know. Well, we've had some worry about that because they apparently had some visa issues. It hasn't really been confirmed if they're still playing Bonnaroo. I think.
Are they Australian? Where are they from?
Yeah, they're from Australia. I love that whole subgenre that's like, psychedelic Australian rock. Like Tame Impala is one of my favorites ever. And
Totally.
On my birthday, dude. I cannot believe my luck.
Sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, we got them and King Gizzard, so it's gonna be fun.
That's killer. That's a good one.
I know you got a show that Saturday night. But yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, anything else you're listening to?
Let's see. I mean, I listen. Okay, just to check out, Chris Whitley, man. He passed away a while ago, but he's somebody I listen to all the time. Kind of, you just have to check it out. He's got a very unique voice. I'm listening to some Warren Zevon. I love Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. I think Nathaniel Rateliff is one of the greatest songwriters right now.
They have a little bit of a similar sound to you guys.
You think so? That's cool.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I think it's kind of.
I love it. Yeah, man. I mean, all sorts of stuff. I mean, there's this guy. What's his name? Daniel Norgren. I think he's from Denmark. Daniel Norgren, man.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
The song "Whatever Turns You On." Oh my God, that guy's fantastic, man. I'm all over the place. I love Led Zeppelin. I love the Stones. I love the Beatles. I love Metallica. I love Bill Withers. I love hip hop. I love everything.
One last thing for you. What's your favorite show that you've ever seen?
I've ever seen.
Yes.
Wow. It's tough.
I imagine you've seen a lot of these legends, right?
It's really tough. I saw Roger Waters do The Wall. That was epic as fuck. But I mean, I don't know if it was one of the greatest shows I've seen just for production, everything. It was fantastic. But man, I'm trying to think of just a show that just.
I think the one that I would go with is kind of like one that doesn't even count. We had McCartney play for us at Bonnaroo back in 2013.
Who was it?
Paul McCartney. But I'm like,
oh wow, yeah. I've never seen him, and I think that would be the one.
Oh, it was everything you would imagine. I couldn't believe it. He had giant pyro go off during Live and Let Die.
Yes.
3,000 people singing Hey Jude.
Oh yeah. That's pretty awesome stuff right there, man. But I mean, like I saw my first big show back when I was in 8th grade in 1991 or 2. It was Metallica when they had long hair. that shit was amazing, man. 3 hours, just you're talking about pyros. It was crazy, man. Like I saw like Ozzy Osbourne back then in like 93, and it was the No More Tours tour in 93. Guess what he's still doing? Touring.
He keeps saying he's going to stop, but that's not happening.
No, he's gonna go till he cashes out, man. Which is that I believe in that, Ozzy's the man. But yeah, man. I mean, so many good shows. Too many to think about, man.
Well, I tell you what, I'll give you some homework. Think about that, and we'll hang out in September. You can tell us all about it.
I can't wait, man.
Well, dude, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really can't wait to see you guys. Like being able to go back to a live show with a band like yours that really gets it and hangs out with the crowd. That's going to be exactly what we need after, a year of the bullcrap that we just put up with.
Us too, man. Us too. We can't wait. Can't wait to meet you in person.
Hell yeah.
Shawn, for hanging out with us. That was so awesome.
Yes, it was. And I'll be honest, I prepped for that. I did a little homework. I thought I was going to be a little professional. But after like 5 minutes of talking to that guy, I was like, oh no, this guy's like my best friend already. And I just had a good time hanging out with him. I went from trying to be a journalist to just like hanging out with a new buddy really quick.
Well, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, be conversational.
Yeah. Well, at first I thought like, oh, okay, I got to be serious. I'm talking to somebody that's like way on up there on the lineup. But then I was like, oh no, this guy's awesome. I just like hanging out with him.
This is not the serious podcast.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
Is the I'm gonna be chill podcast.
Yeah. Well, that happened very quickly. But yeah, thanks again to Shawn for hanging out with us. It sounds like I'm going to be his tour guide in the campgrounds when he wants to go party. I can't wait to make that happen.
That's going to be dope.
Yes, he's a fun dude. He's going to come sign the bus for us and everything. All right. About to sign off here in a few minutes, but I did want to go over something really quick. There was a really good question that someone had on the Bonnaroo Reddit a day or two ago about beating the heat. And I have told you guys, yeah, it's going to be hot as balls out there. I'm just going to be honest. So, yes, that is something to be thinking about. Charlotte, I want to hear from you. What have been some of your ways to beat the heat?
Okay, my number one tip to beat the heat.
Yes.
Okay, move to Alabama. Live here for 6 months. You'll be fine.
Well, let's presume they don't have the time for that.
Okay.
So I told them half of my advice was to start getting in shape now.
Yeah.
Like take walks or even run like I do out in the heat just to get used to it. So you kind of know your body, so you know, like, okay, how much can you do? And, of course, if you go walking in the heat, you'll be able to, like, up your tolerance a little bit as well.
Truthfully, I think you're right, Daniel. I think it's just being outside now and just kind of getting acclimated to it, just getting your body ready for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Drinking lots of water,
yeah.
But also not just water, doing those electrolyte packs.
You get those a lot.
Yeah, I use those, just carry around those like electrolyte powder packs.
Yeah.
And just throw them in my water. And those cooling towels that you can carry around with you.
I call them a wook rag.
I mean, and you can just soak them in water and then just put them on your neck.
Yeah, I agree.
Work wonders.
And I would also recommend to be hydrating very well throughout this whole summer in the next 2 or 3 months. Mm-hmm. That's not just something that you're going to do when you go out to those like crazy looking mushroom fountains out there at Bonnaroo. Be doing it now.
Right.
Be drinking more water than you normally would. It might even mean cutting back on beer and sugary drinks here in the next month or two. I mean, that wouldn't hurt. You want to get more actual water in your system and not the gunk that you get from like a Coke or a Miller Lite or whatever it may be. Or a PBR in one guy's case. I think we know who we're talking about. But yeah, just think about your health. That will, if you get yourself in good shape, the heat will still suck, but it won't be that big of a deal. Oh, and the other thing is just bathe in sunscreen every day. Because if you get burned, it's just going to make it that much worse.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, and be doing that throughout the summer too, because if you're already like burnt by the time you get to Bonnaroo, I'm sorry, you're screwed.
And make sure to put sunscreen all over your body.
All over.
Well, if you're just using the spray sunscreen, it's very easy to like miss spots.
Oh, that spray sunscreen sucks. I don't like it.
Well, make sure, even if you use the spray, you got to rub it in and make sure to cover your whole entire body. Like if you're not,
where are you going with this?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're not from a place where it's hot and humid and sunny all the time, like we are, you know, you're not used to putting sunscreen on, and you got to cover your whole body. I'm just. If you know what I'm saying. I mean, just to give you an example, Brooklyn just burns.
Oh my gosh.
Really easily.
Well, her complexion is a challenge, I suppose.
Yeah, and I mean, she got to lather it on, you know.
The other thing about the humidity, I think the rag thing that Charlie was talking about is a big help for that.
You can Google cooling towel, and those, I mean, they're really good.
I joke and I call it a wook rag because we found one as a ground score out in the campgrounds one year.
That would actually be a good thing for Bonnaroo to include in the little ticket thing. Cooling rag.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
And I don't know why anybody has never thought about that. Yeah. I love that.
A cooling rag.
Yeah. I would, if I was putting together the stuff right now, I would go with that cooling rag over the van.
You can like put it in your cooler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And get it like, I mean, that's what people do. They'll put them in their coolers. That's where we found one. Somebody had put it in our cooler.
Somebody gave it to us? Is that where that came from?
No.
What?
They put it in our cooler to get it cold, and I guess they were going to come back for it.
And they never did.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to the random person who gave me that. I still use it.
You can put it in your cooler and get it like really cold, and you just carry it around with you all day, and you put it on your neck, and you can put it on your head and whatever. And that really helps like a lot.
I imagine you can get one of those things pretty cheap. It's just basically a rag.
You can get it on Amazon. Just look up cooling towel on Amazon. Cooling towel. Yeah.
Okay. I may get us one or two. That's a good idea. All right. So next week on the show, I think we're going to do something a little fun. I've been trying to do a lot of things that are targeted towards Bonnaroo rookies because I know we're going to have a lot this year. So here's what we're going to do, Charlotte. You're acting as if I haven't already told you this, but I already did tell her about this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a panel of a lot of different Bonnaroo rookies. I'm going to get hopefully 2 or 3 people that are going to be on the show, and we're just going to talk with no real agenda. I want to hear from them what they're worried about. I want to hear from them what bands they're looking forward to. Maybe they know somebody I should check out or whatever. If you or anyone you know is a first-timer to Bonnaroo this year, get in touch with us. We'll tweet at The Real Roo Bus on Twitter, asking for people to be on the show for next week. And we'll organize a Zoom call where we will get a handful of people to just hang out and BS and talk about what you're looking forward to, what you're worried about, what we might be able to help you out with. So look for that. And if you know somebody that's coming to their first one, suggest to them that they can be on our podcast. I would love to host them. We will probably record it sometime Sunday or Monday this coming week. So we'll try to make it work for you. So we don't bite. Come hang out with us. We'll have fun. I want to be able to help out. And by talking with us, you'll be able to help out your fellow rookie Bonnarooians as well. Will you hang out with us for that one? Usually I do the interviews by myself. I'd like for you to do this one with me.
Of course.
Yes. Awesome. So look for that. We'd love to have you on the show. We'll do that next week. How about you, Charlie? You doing pretty good?
Yeah. I was talking about the sunscreen just a second ago.
Oh, yeah, the sunscreen.
I missed a spot on my arm, like a little.
Her wrist is kind of red.
A quarter-size spot, and it's one little spot. It's like red as a beet.
As a what?
As a beet.
A bead? A beet. A beet? Like Dwight Schrute beats? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It kind of is. Okay. Well, let Charlotte be a lesson to you all. Wear sunscreen.
All over your body.
I still don't know where she's going with this.
All over
rub it in. All right. Hey, guys. We'll see you next week. I can't wait to talk with some rookies for next week's episode. In the meantime, get out there and radiate positivity. Have an awesome summer, you guys.
Bye.